What is good? I go by Osiris. I have a channel called Stuck in the Middle, and I put non political stuff on here, positive plus some. Thanks for joining. Donald Glover interviews Donald Glover. That's where we are right now. It's. Where are we? Donald Glover interviews Donald Glover. Brilliant. Donald Glover is brilliant, and working with this outlet here, the interviewmagazine.com interview, brilliant. In this day and age, nobody cares about a Donald Glover interview, right? So if they just did a regular interview with Donald Glover and he's just wearing regular clothes like a normal dude, no one cares, no hits, no views, no pub. He has his show coming starting back Atlanta. My wife watches it. I have not gotten into it, but brilliant. So in this world where all this news is coming and it's hard to trend, their goal is to trend on Twitter. How do you do it? You have to be outlandish. You have to be outrageous. So Donald Glover interviews himself. The journalist, if you went to journalism school, if you went to marketing school, you got this. You know exactly what's happening. If you went to journalism school, what do you think of this? A dude interviewing himself? What the hell? I understand it's just an op-ed, but I guess op-ed's too boring, right? We'll touch on some of this. Here's the picture in front of a damn Taco Bell. What the hell? I guess they're trying to go with I don't know what they're going with, man. I'm not even going to pretend to understand. I think that copied a picture that was done. That outfit, the exact same outfit, was done by somebody else before. I saw that on Twitter, but I don't know the backstory. Oh, damn. This is crazy. The Donald Glover is a man of many personas, phases, errors, iterations. He's very smart. He's done a lot of jack of all trades, and I consider myself somewhat of a jack of all trades, but master of none. He's been very good at a lot of them. Comedy writer. He started out with 30 Rock, which was a great show. Then he was on Community, another cult following type show. He was on with Solo. I never saw that. That's the only Star Wars movie I have not seen is Solo, a Star Wars story. I don't know why I've never seen it. He's a musician, Childish Gambino. He had some dope songs. So talented. You know him from a lot of different things, and he's got the show on Atlanta coming back. So I guess he had to unspool his Willy Wonka in celebration of this show coming back. I mean, if you're milquetoast like me, you don't get views, you don't get hits. So maybe I should unveil and wear goofy outfits and look stupid as hell, huh? No, that won't be happening. He starts out the interview with saying, okay, where are we right now? Bruh, I think you might need to go to a therapist. If you agree to do this just for marketing, this conversation should be between you, your other personality, and a trained professional. He starts the interview saying, okay, where are we right now? Bruh, where are we? Bruh, seriously, where are we? I'm serious. There were some good moments in it. Don't get me twisted. I'll get to that. He said, on my farm, it's nice. Yeah, I love farms. I love produce. We've got all these fruits, bees. Our cow is pregnant, so we'll have milk for a little while. It makes me happy. It's a good way to start it. And then he starts about what's on the table and all that. I'm just going to do a couple parts that I saw here that were interesting. There was a part that really blew up about black women. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to look at what's other part of it here. There's a part, I'm going to search for it. It said something like, what's a good man? Okay, let's look at this. What's a good man to you? Remember, this is Donald Glover interviewing Donald Glover. Here's some of the outfits you see here. So you have to dress goofy, right? I think that vest is actually nice. That vest is dope. I can't front. Before I get into that, what's a man type of thing, I think that's a fine picture. The thing that I'm looking at, though, is when's the last time, this is the most masculine I've ever seen a black male in one of these high profile. Believe it or not, you might say, wait, what are you talking about? This is, compared to what we've seen from other people, this is the most masculine. I don't know why it is, but it seems like to get these high profile photo shoots in the magazines, Hollywood is in this different space, man. They're in a whole different universe. you have to be emasculated. And I don't think he wore a dress, which is nothing wrong with that. If you want to wear that, that's fine. I'm just making a comment on what I've been seeing historically. That looks like a woman's flare pants, though. You see, there's always has to be a touch of, I'm going to take that manhood from you. I'm going to put you up here, but you can't look too strong. That's my impression. Not that there's anything wrong with it. My question is, when maybe I'm wrong. When's the last time you've seen any male almost? But let's just talk about black males. They're the ones who are into identity. A black male in a high profile shoot like this that just wore masculine stuff and didn't have flare pants. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but that those pants don't look masculine to me. And that's just all perception. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you don't want to look masculine, you don't have to. But I'm just saying is we're seeing a pattern here. Is that fair for me to say? Is I don't want to be bigoted or sound insensitive, but what is that? We can't just have a dude look like a dude? I don't know. Whatever. What's a good man to you? Donald asked himself. Someone who knows themselves, who loves themselves. My father was really gentle with us physically and mentally. It felt radical at the time. I really miss him. Why was it radical? It felt radical probably because he was the only man I knew like that growing up. There's physical danger in men love. If someone doesn't understand what they're feeling, it could get violent. I don't think women usually have to deal with that unless they're dealing with men. But to be clear, this isn't me saying men are bad, just the worlds are different. He's very insightful. I think that was an insightful thing. And you see how they wrapped it up in the interview, because otherwise I wouldn't be doing this video. I wouldn't care about it. It wouldn't trend. So that was an interesting topic there. He said, what are you most afraid of? Let me search on the word afraid here. What are you most afraid of? Losing my mother. I'll get to the black woman part and end with that. Losing my mother. That's hard because that's going to happen someday. I think it's not even that. I think it's more. I'm just in love with her right now. It brings me a lot of joy to give her joy. A relationship now is something I've never known. I get to be the caretaker. She's teaching me how to be old. I think I'm seeing her as a woman and not my mom for the first time. Deep stuff. I think that's excellent, as far as like interviewing and all that. It could have been written as an op-ed, but yeah. I'm going to look at this here. This is where I'm going to end. I do think it's interesting to separate marriage as a political act. Huh? Yeah, I guess. But then where does it end? How would I know if something's for me if it's all a political act? I thought that was a little weird. And there was a thing here about Malcolm. Speaking of Malcolm X, you hear what Dr. Umar had said some comments about him, and I'll just show it here real quick. Dr. Umar Johnson. Childish Gambino's video contained powerful metaphors, but once the contradiction of a white queen surfaced, it diluted his message. Yes, this is going back to his old America video, I believe. Yes, he has a right to discuss the black experience, but wanting to have that experience with a white woman clearly says he doesn't value enough. So we're talking about these identitarians who, if you don't know, my wife is white, so I can understand where people who are in interracial marriages get pressure from these identitarians that don't support it. They're for segregation. They're actually for Dr. Umar's for racism. He just wants to be the one to be the racist. And that's what they're about. And I think Donald Glover had a chance to speak out stronger against that, and he's not, because I think of the critical theory umbrella over Hollywood. That would have been a viral moment that might have got him shut out of the industry. But here's what I'm going to end on. Are you afraid of black women? So the thing goes down this path of race now, and this is where I'm going to end with, and it's very telling where people look at this, because their heads are so wrapped up into race, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to act without saying, hey, you're with this type of person, or why aren't you with that type of person? So he's talking about this from his own idea in his head, that, what is this about? What are we doing here? So he has a wife Her name is Michelle White, just to give you a little bit of the background here. And Michelle White is Donald Glover's wife. I'll see if I can get a picture real quick if you're not familiar with her. And I don't know what race she is or whatever, but I'm just gonna do this real quick. And I don't care. I really don't care. But that's kind of like the backdrop of this. Are you afraid of black women? Why are you asking me that? I feel like your relationship to them has played a big part in your narrative. I feel like you're using black women to question my blackness. So some people didn't like that. I think he's right. All right, are you going to teach your kids how to be black? Well, yeah. Should someone else? Well, my answer would be no. I'm going to teach my kids to be whatever they are. Like, do you think the color of somebody's skin has to do with their personality? It's more about where you were raised. If I have black skin, I was raised in Alaska, I'm going to view the world differently than someone with black skin and they're raised in Brazil. Like, do you think that there's some type of genetic behavior tied to the color of your skin? So since I'm dark and maybe Steph Curry's lighter, is there a different mentality because I'm darker and he's lighter? Or is that genetically built into us? It feels as though your thoughts on race, he interrupts himself. That's kind of corny. Can I say something? I hate talking about race more than 5 minutes unless it's with other black people and or we're laughing. Okay, can I ask one last one? Then I'm done. Do you think black has lost its value? In what way? In whatever way you think it means. I definitely think it's diluted in the marketplace because everyone can do it and it doesn't have to be authentic. It happens every 10 to 15 years. I think we're at the tail end of it now, though. No. Do you have any advice for being at the tail end of this cycle? I don't agree with that cycle stuff at all. But he says to himself, I think just focus on your perspective, not your blackness. I guess in a vacuum, it's easier not to focus on your blackness, but the world will dictate how important it is to you in some ways, no? Like, do you want your kids to not focus on their blackness? In some ways, I don't. But I also don't want them to be the light-skinned kid saying I don't see color. You just confusing me, bro. I wish you the best. Do what you need to do for your kids, but you're confusing me. I mean, it's real simple. Do what you do. I mean, if my kids, I got two young kids, man. If they want to be social justice warriors, man, they're gonna go ahead and be social justice warriors. I'm not gonna raise them to be that. That's for damn sure. I'm not gonna raise them to be anti that. I'm gonna raise them to try to find out for themselves. What do you want your kids to be? I guess I just want them to be good men, but they decide what they are. I love them regardless. Let me know what you think. Take care.